not shape-shifting. The thing is, I'm going to tell you what the shape-shift is. And the lizards. Okay, lizards been around a long time, like since before ancient Egypt and everything. And the symbol, you know, that eye, the eye of Horus with the squiggly hanging out of it, that has to do with lizards. It's a lizard symbol. It means two things. It's a pro-lizard symbol, and it also means beware, there's lizards here. Okay, there's 3 different kinds of lizards. I'll tell you all about them. They're called Vril. The thing is, I'm not sure if it's 1 L or 2 at the end. It's Vril, V-R-I-L-L or V-R-I-L. Germans were into them. They had a club with Vril things. Anyway, there's like a 1 to 1.5 foot tall one. That's the Vril type 1. It's got scales, red scales. There's a type 2 that is not parasitic, but it's still vicious, nasty, carnivorous. They're all carnivorous. And there's a type 3 that's 8 feet tall that has a real long neck and looks like a gray alien, but it comes from deep underground. Like below deep base deep. Like they need a methane oxygen mix to breathe, and deep underground they got sulfur pools, I guess, that make this stuff. Anyway, they come up underneath the domed bases. The government is complicit with them, basically. Now I have to tell you about the parasitic aspect of the lizards and why the Illuminati and the governments use them. The lizards have a thing, okay? They have what's called a proboscis. There's lizards out there today that have a proboscis on their face, okay? These things got it in the middle of their head, okay? And on the top of their head, this is the Vril type 1 and 2. The type 2 have a proboscis sheath that comes out, it sticks out. The type 1s, for instance, it's like a chocolate chip, it looks like, basically the tip of it. Now, at one point in these things' lives, because they have a long lifespan, the lizard species, one point in their life, they can slowly wiggle this thing out, eject it, and it goes into somebody's eyeball.
Consciousness transfer is not a new concept. In fact, it's ancient. At its essence, the idea of consciousness transfer is the key to immortality, the ability to live forever, which is something that we know the elite ruling class has been yearning to find pretty much since the beginning of time.
Is this a joke or April Fool's?
Reality. We come out February 2nd. And we also do modifications. So like men can be women, women can be men. We do different heights, sizes, ages, skin tones, hair texture, anything you like.
Can you explain that quickly one more time?
Yes. So here at Psychosect, we produce 100% organically made human sleeves. Here is an example of the two. So the whole point of this is to have your conscious mind but in a different physical body. Let's just say if your child gets hit by a car and dies, you'd be able to retrieve him back but in a different physical being.
Ancient Egyptians believed, like many of us do today, that the consciousness separates from the physical body upon death. The Egyptians believed that the soul and the spirit were two single entities, the Ka and the Ba. The spiritual aspect of a person was referred to as their Ka. Some believe that the purpose of the pyramids was to harness the dead pharaoh's Ka and their Ba and transfer it to the new pharaoh. Think of Ka as energy. It is neither created or destroyed. It only changes. So upon your death, your Ka would remain on Earth. Ka would hold all of your genetic material and cellular memories.
It does a spiral around the optic nerve all the way to a certain point, and it's driven there by taste. And they said once it gets there, it has the taste of butterscotch, and then it does a feeling like holding your breath and going, pushing outwards. And at the tip of this chocolate chip, it then starts what they call sweating the quill. Now, the spinal cord stuff comes out of the spinal cord, out of the chocolate chip thingy, and it's everything that the lizard is. The lizard's whole body is dead. That little lizard thing is dead, and it can't go back in. Can't get it back in. It's one way. Once it excretes this stuff, sweats this quill thing, the person's debilitated for an unknown amount of time. I don't know how long. But when they come back, they have to have some recovery time. But when they come back, they are not the person anymore. They are then the lizard. Let me put this to you flatly. The old person's consciousness is gone. The body is absolutely, totally dominated, and the lizard is smarter as a human then, and totally controls everything.
Before, when I was on here with you, we talked about MK Ultra mind control, and I said, I may not have said it on your show, but in a subsequent speech I did say, what MK Ultra mind control does is train people never to blame the guilty. Instead, to point the finger downward at the helpless and never upward at the guilty. But, and people in America are just under that kind of mind control, and it originates from Congress and from our government. They don't want to get caught as they're pocketing all the people's dough. But what gets me about the ruled by psychopaths is that they're not ever satisfied. Royalty invented a feudal system, and everybody is on, everybody under their class is a breeder that, gives birth to the soldiers and, that do their work for them. So, they needed to have a clear binary, women and men, so they can push that wedding, I call it the wedding military-industrial complex. But, they got to keep breeders going, because where are they going to get these kids to send off to their wars and molest and stuff? They have to create that. So they created these clear gender things for their slaves and their serfs. And, they get a wedding, and, then they're happy. They're a princess for a day. Then they go back to the fields, It's mind control. It's feudal, land baron, capitalism, mind control, patriarchy. It's completely obsolete. It's funny when you look at it how ridiculously corrupt it is. And it's hilarious, too, because it's so psychotic. But, we just have to keep laughing it to scorn and watch it die. It doesn't have any place to go now. I think now it's like eating its own tail. I mean, the whole Saudi Arabia, all royal family, 911, Bush, all of it, it's eating its own tail. And everybody's like, truther, you're a truther. When idiots are calling brilliant people stupid, you got a real problem. It's House of Saud, works with House of Windsor, works with the Vatican, works with Rothschild. It's all one big friggin' mafia scam. I mean, I'll probably get assassinated or droned when I'm out of here.
Over time, it'll develop a rash. It'll lose its hair. The thing is, these things are all over the place, and they mimic human behavior. In fact, one of their names in the past is mimic.
Sometimes an insect will evolve to mimic its predator. A fly can look like a spider. A caterpillar can look like a snake. The Judas evolved to mimic its predator. Us.
Nobody up there knows about this?
Nobody would. Not until it's too late. These things can imitate us, they can infiltrate us, and breed a legion before anyone would even notice.
How could you do this? How could you do this? You take something, you make it like a man. A man who's not a man. Manny! A thing. Manny! Take my child.
Manny, you tell her because she don't give a goddamn.
Hey.
Your kid's gone on my legs. Shut up, will you? And they're both talking about insects with lungs. Shut up! Oh, shit, they're everywhere. Manny, get out!
Insects use them to identify themselves. Here, rub it all over yourself. They won't attack you if they think you're one of them.
Vril are a subterranean race of parasitic reptilians who live deep underground. Now, I want you to keep in mind that in one of my previous videos, I talked about the shape of the earth and how scripture tells us that the earth is so deep that we will never be able to search it out. Without going into great detail, it also tells us not to make a graven image of anything that's in heaven or that is in the earth beneath or in the waters under the earth. The word Vril means light source, aka Lucifer, the light bearer. These reptilians are said to have a unique ability to body snatch or drone humans by transferring a parasite into the eye. Once the parasite is in place, it absorbs the human's consciousness, and the Vril consciousness takes over. They will retain all the knowledge and experiences of the human's consciousness. Unfortunately, the host dies. These Vril are not able to function without human blood, preferably that of children. In 1954, elite Freemasons made a deal with the gray alien Vril called the Treaty of Greada. They agreed to allow these reptilians to body snatch children, celebrities, and lawmakers in exchange for rare gems, super alien technology such as UFO aircrafts and beam weapons, which were supplied to the Nazis, as well as knowledge of bio and genetic technology, human cloning, life extension technology, and pyramid building.
It gets to the big question, if all this has been hidden from us, everybody says, well, where's the proof? I've got some of the proof laying on the table. But a lot of you probably are totally skeptical. They say, well, I could be anything. In my hand here, I have a piece of what's called corbamite. It's the heaviest element in the world. Element 140. This piece of material weighs 15 ounces. 3.5 times the weight of uranium. It cannot be made to emit gamma rays. It cannot be isotoped. It is totally stable. It is used in all stealth aircraft and all Phoenix-class submarines. When combined with other alien elements, it is impregnable. It cannot be melted with charged particle beam weapon When properly combined in secretive compounds, it can withstand temperatures in excess of 10 million degrees Fahrenheit. Is grown by aliens who have given a good... The other side of the alien question is, some of these aliens have broken off from their mainstream and said, we're not getting a fair shake, and so this is what happens. I'm talking about the alien grays. Some of them broken away. They're talking about not being popular. This particular piece of metal is an amazing piece of technology. It's capable of being grown in 15 different crystal systems. Now, I'm a geologist, and I, prior to 15 or 20 years ago, knew of only 6 crystal systems. There's actually 15, if you count all the alien metals. Now, this is only element 140. If you look at the local periodic table in your local library, it says 104. Somewhere down the line, we've been lied to, we've been cheated. What we have to do is we have to literally ask for the truth. If we cannot ask for the truth, we must demand the truth. We must take it before courts of law and common law systems, and we must demand it. If we cannot do this, our founding fathers told us the only thing left is to overthrow, to get the parasites out. I don't advocate overthrow, but it does look like this may be the only alternative. Now, I'm going to casually mention to you something that's very scary indeed, and tell you what the alien agenda is. And it's going to sound very familiar. The alien agenda is the complete takeover of this planet, the killing off of 5/6 to 7/8 of the world's population by the year 2029. The U.S. military has known about this for 45 years. They've told no one. As far as I know, I'm the only person standing before a crowd talking about the alien agenda, secretively. Okay. Back in 1954, I'll give you a quick overview. There was the created 1954 treaty where Eisenhower signed a pact with the known alien species of the time. There were 3 at the time. And said that we're going to deal in high technology, but you can take a few head of cattle and a few human beings and you can experiment on them. It's unthinkable. It's stuff straight out of the Nazi death camps, and I'm kidding you not, it's plain BS, and it's got to stop. Now, the created 1954 treaty would have been violated. After the great firefight, the alien-human war, I am the only living survivor talking about it worldwide at all. Only one. The other 2 are in nursing homes in Canada, and the Canadian government refuses to allow any U.S. people, including myself, to talk to them because they are afraid of kidnap. Probably the reason I got shot to pieces and 11 attempts on my life is I am a direct threat to the entire system. The New World Order, the alien agenda is one and the same. It's world takeover and the decimation of the population of this planet. Now, I'm going to tell you something a little bit different about the alien species. The bad news ones, there are 9 races of alien populations. To look at a human being as a bag of food. They're not cannibals. They don't eat the flesh and the bones and all that kind of stuff. They use the glandular secretions of animals and human beings as a mixture of the vitamins for their food. They get high off of our adrenal gland substances called adrenochrome. It's something like cocaine to them.
As your attorney, I advise you to take a hit out of the little brown bottle in my shaving kit. You won't need much. Just a tiny taste.
Ah, there it is.
shit?
That stuff makes pure mescaline seem like ginger beer, man. Adrenochrome.
Adrenochrome?
Hello? Hi, Lucy. God bless. Yeah, it's me. What? Hell no. I taught the bastard a lesson he'll never forget. What? No, not dead. But he won't be bothering anybody for a while. Yeah, I left him out there. I stomped him and pulled all his teeth out.
I remember thinking, Jesus, what a terrible thing to lay on somebody with a head full of acid.
But we have a problem. That bastard cashed a bad check downstairs and gave you as a reference. They'll be looking for both of you. Yeah, I know, Lucy, but you can't judge a book by its cover. Some people are just basically rotten. Anyway, the last thing in the world you want to do is go to this hotel again. They'll trace the car and put you straight behind bars. No, I'm moving to the Tropicana right away. I'll let you know what it is, and I gotta get off. I really have to phone that, baby. Yeah, I know, it was horrible, but it's all over now. Oh my God, there's someone at the door. There's someone at the door. Hey! Hey! No! I'm innocent! It was you! It was you!
Encounters with these species describe these creatures as having gray skin, huge black eyes, hardly a nose or mouth, no distinguishable sex characteristics, and standing only 4 feet tall. These Vril were believed to come from the Orion constellation. Orion is referenced in the books of Job and Amos. The name means fat, stupid, silly, and foolish. They are also said to be the race of serpents spoken of in the Garden of Eden. The Vril Society, formerly the All-German Society of Metaphysics, was founded in 1922 with the help of the alien race, which had a goal of forming a utopian society dubbed the New World Order, with the use of alternative sciences, in particular the use of a limitless energy also called Vril. According to Edward Bueller Lytton, author of Vril, The Coming Race, published in 1871, the source emanated from a black sun, a big ball of prima materia in the center of the earth. The inhabitants at the center of the earth are called Vrilia, and were said to be descendants of the Aryan race, the biological ancestors of the black sun. The source is known by other ancients as Chi, Ohas, Vril, Astral Light, Odic, and Orgon. This is the source that Adolf Hitler, known to be a member of the Vril Society, was after. Hence his obsession with the Aryan race, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed people. A quote from the Thule Society, which birthed the Vril Society, elaborates it this way. The signer hereby swears to the best of his knowledge and belief that no Jewish or colored blood flows in either his or his wife's veins, and that among their ancestors are no members of the colored races. Maria Orsic, leader of the Vril Society, was a medium said to be in direct contact with these alien species, who gave her the blueprint for various space technologies.